Hey, I'm excited to welcome you to the NECOS Industrial Workshop. We have a terrific agenda that I will introduce in a couple of minutes. A few informations. There is a Wi-Fi as a service in setup, and you will guess the name, and this is the password. Also, I welcome if anyone is following the live stream. It should be up. Okay, let's start with a basic question. Why are we here today? Well, this is a basic question that could get complex if we start talking about philosophical aspects. But don't worry. This is not the day and not the place. Why we are here is much simpler. It's behind this logo, this acronym, NECOS, Novel Neighbors for Cloud Slicing. It's a project funded by Europe and Brazilian agencies, 11 institutions, 4 from Europe, and 7 from Brazil. We have been working together for almost 2 years. We are in the last month of the project. And we thought that it would be the right moment to engage, meet the industry, and assess how the topics that we have been working are with respect to the views of different perspectives. How far are we? How can we get closer? Not only in the scope of NECOS, but also for upcoming projects involving research, academia, industry, and different stakeholders. This is the objective of this workshop, an open, innovative moment to brainstorm together, and this is why the agenda has been set up the way it is. These are the institutions, the partner institutions. You can find it. I won't spend time on things that you can find easily by Googling. So, few motivating aspects of the topics that are in scope of this workshop. 5G, the first rollouts are happening. We know new services demanding customized infrastructures are coming. 6G is not that far away, probably 10 years from today, which will be the gaps from 5G to 6G that will need it to be worked out. What are the roles of cloudification, of slicing, putting these infrastructures end-to-end, compute, networking resources tailored for the needs of services. Without a service, infrastructure, the resources are nothing else than that. So many things we have witnessed in the last 10 years or so, from command line interfaces to APIs, automation, from closed source to open source, from customers building foundations to define their own roadmaps and not depending necessarily on the roadmaps of vendors, software, moving from the boxes views, the hardware boxes, to virtualization, network functions as a service models. Okay, the network, the traditional network with its planes have been rethought, is being re-architected for a number of reasons. New stacks are being built up, forming some abstractions, the role of controllers, of applications, of programming languages. All of this is going on. So what is a slice? Let's another basic question. I'm sure that if I ask each of the 80 registered people that we have for this event, we'll get 80 different answers. Maybe 160 if I ask you right now, and then after the coffee break. The fact is that slicing is an ongoing topic being addressed from multiple perspectives, from standardization, from academia, with different scopes, with different approaches. And if you ask me what was the main challenge of the NECOS project, the answer to me is very easy. It was getting 25 people agree after 9 months of the start of the project on a working definition of slicing, on an architectural view that allowed us to define a slicing architecture, the foundations, and then prototype it, build it, and demo it like we'll show later today. Okay, what to slice, which resources, how, from where, these were among the main challenges that have been worked out, and I'm sure they won't disappear next year, and they will still be alive for some time. Okay, so slicing, efficient sharing of resources, multi-tenancy going wild. Okay, think about sharing economy. If all this happens, we don't know how the network will look like in 10 years from now on. But we know economies thrive, and if there are incentives, they will happen. Okay, so this is why we are here today, and this is the agenda that we have prepared, and I thank all the involved parties, CPQD for hosting us, putting this in a short time, and of course, all contributors of the lightning talks and the panel. So, in this first slot, we'll get lightning views, lightning talks. These are meant 7 to 10 minutes maximum of topics in scope of the project from different views, perspectives, from operator, service provider. Luis and Marcos will share some views. Then vendor views, Alessandra and Mateus will also briefly bring some thoughtful insights. Then we have some more research-oriented views by CPQB, Gustavo, Jorge, and then from academia, Professor Nelson. With that, we'll go to the coffee break. That doesn't mean that after each talk there are no room for questions. On the contrary, so we expect that after each talk, questions will be addressed, but of course the time is limited, so 3 to 5 minutes maximum, and we are already 15 minutes or 20 behind the schedule. Okay, so then coffee break. Thanks again for the organization of the coffee. Enjoy it and use the time networking, so network, meet people. And after that, we'll go into the NECOS. We'll have a presentation by the technical coordinator, Professor Alex Callis. We'll introduce the highlights of the approach of NECOS. Of course, not with all the full details, but sufficient to understand the value proposition, the approach, okay? And then to see that the architecture and the blocks not only work on PowerPoint, which always works in PowerPoint, but they work also in running code. We'll have also a snapshot on a multi-slice, multi-site, multi-service demo distributed through resources in Europe and Brazil. Well, I won't be a spoiler.